It is Tuesday, March 20th, and I'm just doing a quick check-in. Health-wise, everything's going great. I did not have a bruise from my injection site. Somebody left a comment on one of my other videos asking why I inject so slowly, and I really can't remember why I inject the way that I do. I think that I read somewhere, probably on Reddit, that somebody had a reaction to injecting too quickly. It caused side effects in them, and they found that when they injected more slowly, they didn't have that problem. And so I think that's why I do that. But I don't know if that is actually needed or not. So maybe in the coming weeks, I'll play around with going a bit faster and see how it goes. I did decide to weigh myself today just for fun, and it was 257.4. I think yesterday it was like 257.8. So that's kind of fun just to see that go down. Again, knowing that it's not, I mean, it could go up and down at any time, right? But I like to see those little wins where I can. And was able to go to the bathroom today. So good job me for that. Haven't really drank as much water today as I should. I drank a fair amount of water yesterday. I had half a bottle of soda, just like what are they, 12 ounces, like the 6-pack style. So I had like a half of that, and then I just poured the rest down the drain. We have been watching The Gentleman on Netflix. It's a TV series that's based off of the Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman, with Matthew McConaughey. And it's really good so far. We're like 3 or 4 episodes in, but I like the way it's going. The cast is fun, fairly attractive, and the plot line is good. It's in a very much a Guy Ritchie style of show. Like if you've seen a lot of his shows, it's very similar with the way the action is, and it's kind of quirky. So that's fun though. So that's a good one. And I think that's it. I don't have a whole heck of a lot today. I've been looking into jobs just in general, because right now I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my husband is not loving his job, and so I'm trying to see what I can do to help out with the finances, to kind of maybe free up some stress from him. But I worked at eBay for a long time, like, I don't know, it was like 7 years, I think. And then when I had our second child, this was multiple years ago, he's 8 now, I started getting really burned out with it, and we were in a position where I could work from home or stay at home. So I did the stay at home thing. And then, like, what was it, last year? Must have been 2 years ago now. I went back to eBay, and I had to start from the very bottom again. And it only lasted like 3 months. And then I started getting like, panic attacks, and my anxiety was through the roof and could not figure out why. And I was crying about it. And I don't typically cry very easily, but I was just like freaking out. So then I quit eBay again. And I took all last year to try to figure out my health stuff and get my anxiety under control. And I was able to get on a good medication set. I was on, what was it first? I can't remember what it was now. Not Xanax. I don't know. It was something that did not really work well for me. So I went off that, and then I went on the bupropion, which is like Wellbutrin, and that worked for me. So then I was like, oh, maybe I can do something. But I get anxiety thinking about interviews. I get really anxious thinking about working with people for some reason. So it's really hard to make money when you have to interact with people. So I don't want to interact with anyone. I am starting a kind of like a part-time job through Omni Interactions. It's supposed to start training on the 29th, I believe, and it'll be doing tech support for TurboTax. I don't know how long I will stay with it. I'm really hoping that it's just going to be people like, oh, I forgot my password. Can you send me a password reset? Or how do I export my files? Things like that. And not people wanting to yell at me. Because that kind of stuff I can do. For a number of years when I worked at eBay, I did tech support for the listing tools there. And that I did that a long time, and I was good at it. I was able to find the answers. So I'm hoping that this one, But even still, it's like $16 an hour or something is the base rate for this TurboTax customer service thing. So it's not a lot of money, but it'll help. And it'll be nice to have flexibility, because this is the kind of job where they release hours every 2 weeks, and then you sign up for the shifts that you want to work or the hours that you want to work ahead of time. If you're lucky, like if you come to the page late and all the hours are already claimed, then you're just crap out of luck, right? So that's like the downside of these kind of businesses. But it will allow me to be able to make some money and still be able to take my kids to school or be there if they need me, the little things, without having to put that on my husband to be like, all right, you got to leave work and go pick them up. If any of you guys have great ways to make money from working at home, let me know. I do the merch print on demand, but I only make like $50-$60 a month with that. And I've done the KDP thing. That's like maybe $5 a month if I'm lucky. So yeah, anything to make money where I don't have to engage with the public would be great. I used to do the resell, like I would go to Ross or TJ Maxx or whatever and buy either clothing or home goods and resell those. And I did pretty well with that, but it was a lot of time. It's very time consuming because I had to. I went shopping very frequently. We had just a ton of stuff that wouldn't move for a long time. Like my office still has multiple totes that are either filled with clothes or home goods. And I'll sell one, like once or twice a week, I'll sell something. So I really enjoyed the shopping aspect of it, but the keeping it around for a long time and cluttering up the house, it's not great. It's not too bad right now because I have my own office in this house, and so I can keep basically all of it, except for some of the shipping boxes. I can keep it in my office, and I didn't have to really interact with anyone, which was nice. But I do need to bring some money in so we can pay down some debt. And that is stressful. Just the idea of going back to work is stressful. The idea of having to be somewhere at set times is stressful. I was kind of thinking about maybe trying to do like a bookkeeping type course certification, because then I could just do that. I mean, I'd have deadlines, right? Like, oh, you gotta have payroll maybe out by Friday, or all the stuff has to be done by tax time. But it doesn't really seem like it's necessarily a 9-to-5 type situation. It kind of seems like, especially if you're just billing by the hour, you just keep track of your hours. Like, oh, okay, I worked on this a few hours. So I thought maybe bookkeeping, maybe look into that. If you guys have ideas, let me know. I am open to a lot of things right now. I was kind of thinking about medical assistant work, even though knowing I'd have to go into an office for that. But it seems like it's something that's in demand. I don't know. But that is all that is going on right now. Yesterday I ate too much late in the day. It wasn't like so much that it was a ton of food. It was just late in the day. And so it just sat, So I had some indigestion, gas issues. Not terrible, but not really comfortable last night. So I had some steak, and I had a small thing of yogurt and some Ritz crackers, and then a half bottle of soda. That's what I've had today. And I'm thinking that maybe if I stop eating by 5 p.m., that will help me out going into sleep, I also just read this, I guess I read the article. So there was this article with maybe a clickbait type headline saying that intermittent fasting leads to a 91% increase in, I think it was cardiovascular related deaths. It was something crazy because for the longest time, the last I don't know how many years, there've been so many articles saying that intermittent fasting is like super beneficial for your body. It helps turn over cell growth and all this kind of stuff. So seeing that was interesting. And a lot of people commenting on it were saying, well, whoever it was that did the study only released the abstract. They didn't release like the details of the study itself. And so there could just be tons of really crappy science and data going into it, but they haven't released that. So it'll be interesting to see if that group ever releases the information. I have a very hard time. And they were saying people who did intermittent fasting, like just eating within an 8-hour window, not even just because a lot of people do like the 23-1, they'll eat 1 hour, they'll eat their calories within 1 hour, and then that's it for the day. But this study was saying people who only ate their calories within an 8-hour window had a 91% increase in cause of death from cardiovascular. That just seems crazy to me. I'll try to link the article if I can remember where I saw it, but that just seems bonkers. I've done the intermittent fasting before, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Like when I just ate, it was 11:30 going on noon. I've done extended fasting before. I've done like 7 days fasting with you're just drinking water and electrolytes. I dropped weight when I did that, of course. I wasn't even super hungry when I stopped it. It was just, I was tired of not eating. But I've done 3-day fasts. I've done 5-day fasts. I've done the 16-8 where you eat within an 8-hour window and then you don't eat for 16 hours, which like 8 of those you're sleeping, right? So it's like you can get up and not eat for 4 hours, and then you've got 8 hours to eat, and then you could not eat for 4 hours before you sleep, then you go to bed and you sleep for your 8. So I find it hard to believe that people could decrease their mortality by 91% simply by eating within an 8-hour window. That seems nutballs. But I'll try to find that article and link it because it was kind of interesting to see. All right, I will come back hopefully tomorrow. If not, then whatever I come back. If you guys have any ideas about work in the meantime and a way to make money, preferably from home without a schedule, and not like DoorDash and Uber, because I've done that too, but where I live, it's not super city, so you can't really make a lot of money. It's not really worth the wear and tear on your car to do the DoorDash and Uber and Lyft, that kind of stuff. All right, see you guys later.